Which type of construction material is commonly used for foundations?
Good job. Your answer concrete works well here.
What is the primary advantage of using glulam beams in construction?
Excellent choice. High strength and flexibility is the right answer. Name two properties of steel that make it suitable for construction. Clear logic. Your choice, strength and durability is sound and 100% true. What is the standard size of a brick used in construction in the UK?
Nice selection. 215 Mamix 125 Manemx 65 Navels and Nis is the correct and valid answer. Which of the following materials is known for its high workability?
Great job. Concrete is the accurate answer. What is a common effect of insect attack on timber in construction? Well picked. Structural weakening is the correct answer.
Which of the following is a softwood commonly used in construction?
Valid point. Cedar is true. What are the different types of wood commonly used in construction?
Solid response. Pine, cedar, oak, redwood is a valid choice.
Which of the following materials has the highest tensile strength?
Smart move. Steel is an accurate answer.
Which among the following is modern material used in construction?
Smart pick. Geomembranes and geotextiles is the correct choice. What are the main characteristics of bricks used in construction? Excellent. Durability, strength, thermal insulation, and fire resistance is a brilliant choice. Which characteristic is typical of softwood used in construction? Perfect. Lightweight is the correct choice.
Which material is commonly used in the construction of buildings?
Correct. Concrete is the right answer. What is the primary use of fiberglass insulation in construction? Good thinking. Thermal insulation is the right answer. Which of the following materials has the lowest embedded energy? Right again. Timber is a valid answer. Which type of concrete mix is used for lightweight construction? You got it. Your choice, lightweight concrete, is right. Which of the following materials is a good electrical insulator? Bravo, plastic is the answer.
Which construction material has the highest recycling potential?
Strong choice. Steel is the right answer.
What is the main advantage of recycling construction materials?
You're right. Minimis's environmental impact is the correct answer. Which not the correct image of a building construction material? Nice work. You chose plastic and it is correct. What name is given to the floor construction that is not fixed? Right choice. Defloating is the best answer. Workability of a construction material is important because it... Well done. Affects the ease of handling and shaping the material is the right choice. What is a key characteristic of softwoods used in construction? Well reasoned. Fast growth rate is the correct choice.
What is the primary use of engineering bricks in construction?
You chose structural support, and it is correct.
Which of the following materials is most susceptible to creep?
Great thinking. Concrete is the right choice.
What is the primary cause of creep in construction materials?
Exactly. Constant load over time makes sense, and it is right choice. What is a common cause of dry rot in construction materials?
On track. Excessive moisture is the correct answer.
What is the primary purpose of a screed mix in construction? Correct response. Surface leveling is the most accurate answer. Electrical conductivity in construction materials refers to.
Nicely done. The ability of a material to conduct electricity is a solid answer.
What is a common cause of brickwork failure in construction?
Sharp thinking. Excessive moisture is the right choice.
Which construction material is least likely to be recycled? Or,
Clear logic. Your choice plasterboard is sound and 100% true.
which of the following materials are used to make concrete?
Correct response. Cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, water is the most accurate answer.
What factors affect the durability of wood in construction? Nicely done. Moisture, temperature, insect infestation, and exposure to sunlight is a solid answer. What is a primary use of aluminium alloys in construction? Smart pick. Structural framing is the correct choice. What is a common use for concrete blocks in construction?
Great thinking. Wall construction is the right choice.
What is the primary function of an arch in construction? Great job. To support vertical loads is the accurate answer. What is the primary use of plasterboard in construction? You're right. Wall lining is the correct answer. Knowledge on construction materials is necessary because. Well reasoned. Causes cost effectiveness in the project is the correct choice. What are the thermal properties of insulation materials? Right choice. Thermal conductivity, thermal resistance, and specific heat capacity is the best answer. What are the characteristics of slate roofing material? Excellent choice. High water resistance, durable is the right answer. List 5 properties of building construction materials. Sharp thinking. Strength, durability, thermal conductivity, fire resistance, and cost is the right choice. What are the different types of construction materials? Perfect. Concrete, steel, wood, brick, glass, plastic is the correct choice. How do factors affect load conditions in construction? Good thinking. Material type, design, and environmental conditions is the right answer. Ensuring the new community center is energy efficient. Correct. C will reduce the building's impact on the environment is the right answer. What are physical properties of construction materials? On track. Density, strength, durability, thermal conductivity, and electrical conductivity is the correct answer. One of these gives support to a room in a construction.
Good job. Your answer floors works well here.
What is a primary use of polystyrene in construction?
Excellent. Insulation is a brilliant choice.
What is a common use of polyethylene in construction?
Solid response. Vapor barriers is a valid choice.
What is the strongest material used in construction?
Nice work. You chose steel and it is correct.
Which type of rock is commonly used in construction?
Smart move. Marble is an accurate answer.
What is the most common metal used in construction?
Well picked. Steel is the correct answer.
What is the purpose of a level bar in construction? Well done. Checking vertical and horizontal positions is the right choice.
What is a common use of chipboard in construction?
Nice selection. Flooring is the correct and valid answer.
Which is the first invented construction material?
You chose stones. And it is correct.
Which of these materials gets easily deteriorated?
Strong choice. Timber is the right answer.
What are materials that suits to make furnitures?
Exactly. Wood, aluminum, glass, cane, acrylic makes sense and it is right choice. What are the characteristics of softwood timber?
You got it. Your choice low surface hardness, low density is right.
Malleability refers to a material's ability to
Right again. Be hammered into thin sheets is a valid answer.
What is the function of cement in construction?
Bravo. Acts as a binder of aggregate is the answer.
What is the strength of steel in construction?
Valid point. High is true.
What is MDF commonly used for in construction?
Excellent. Decorative moldings is a brilliant choice.
Properties of stone as a construction material.
Clear logic. Your choice durable, strong and resistant to weathering is sound and 100% true. A name for large wood in construction is dash.
Perfect. Beams is the correct choice.
What is the purpose of reinforcing steel bar?
Valid point. Reinforce the strength of construction works is true.
Explain the concept of construction methods.
Smart move. The explanation provided is an accurate answer.
Stones are useful in construction due to its good thinking. Strong physical properties is the right answer. Anything that is used for construction work. Well picked. Material is the correct answer. The modulus of elasticity is a measure of Bravo! A material's ability to resist deformation under load is the answer.
What are nails used for in construction?
Exactly. Driving and pulling out nails makes sense, and it is right choice.
What are some of construction materials?
Well done. Concrete, steel, wood, bricks, glass is the right choice.
What is aggregate used in construction?
Nice work. You chose desand, gravel, chippings, and it is correct. What is the main purpose of plywood?
Strong choice. Thin sheet of wood is the right answer.
Clinker is obtained right after dash.
Nice selection. Burning the grinded raw materials is the correct and valid answer.
Fracture toughness is a measure of sharp thinking. A material's ability to resist fracture is the right choice.
What is geopolymer 3D printing?
Correct. Inorganic materials and zero cement is the right answer. How is a structure classified? You got it. Your choice by its purpose is right. Concrete materials is used for
Solid response. Flooring is a valid choice.
what is a composite material?
Great job. A material made of 2 or more components is the accurate answer.
What are building materials? Right again. Substances or materials used for construction purposes is a valid answer. What technology used by IBS?
Excellent choice. Prachuang use is the right answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. You're right. Contact Narayan Changda is the correct answer.